students, welcome to winter quarter. I'm Dr. Lindsay and I want to welcome you to A&P. For a lot of you, this is just a continuation of A&P 1 that you probably had last quarter or maybe at a different college. For those of you who are brand new to us, welcome. Here's my instructor information. So this is my desk phone. If you call that number, I'm very rarely sitting at my desk. I'm usually in the classroom or at another campus or just at home. But if you leave a message there, I can always access that message. If you call and don't leave a message, I won't know that you called until the next time I sit down. Could be 2, 3, 4 days later. But if you leave a message, I'll get back to you right away. As far as email goes, the best way to email me is through course messages over here on the left-hand side. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Just click on my name and it'll send the message right to me, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. All right, a couple introductory things. Let's take a look at the syllabus. You'll see my phone number again here, and then here's my direct email, and I would like to request that you don't use this unless you absolutely have to. A couple reasons behind that. This email does not tell me which course or which section you're coming from, so that can make it more difficult for me to figure out the answer to your question or to get back to you. Much easier if you use course messages. And then secondly, it's going to take me a lot longer to get back to you because I don't check this email as often as I do check my course messages. All right, so keep that in mind. This is only a backup in case you can't log into your course or some other kind of emergency happens like that. All right, I'll let you read through all of this on your own because I know you are capable of doing that, but I'll point out a couple things that students tend to care about. One of those is your grading criteria. All right, so in this class, we will have weekly discussions. Those weekly discussions add up to about 20% of your overall grade. You will have 5 written assignments, and those are every other week. So every even-numbered week, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, you'll have a written assignment in the form of a case study. And those case studies are pretty substantial. It's quite a bit of work, but remember, it's only every other week, so you have 2 full weeks to work on these questions. That adds up to 26% of your grade. Your midterm and final exam, when combined, make up 24%. And your weekly quizzes, this is the biggest percentage of all, is 27.8%. So make sure you're taking the time to study before you take those quizzes, because that is where you will earn a lot of the overall percentage of your grade. You need 73% to pass this class. Anything below that and you'll have to retake the course. You probably already know this too since we're into week 1, but you do have to take a lab along with the online section of this course. I'm your online instructor. I might be a lab instructor for some of you, but anyone who's not in the Brooklyn Park area will have a different lab instructor. You do need to pass both the lecture and the lab to pass the course. So that means you have to get above 73 in this lecture section, and you have to get above 73 in your lab course. Both of those are independent of each other, but you have to pass both. If you fail one, you have to retake both. So keep that in mind. Make sure you're keeping an eye on that 73 as we approach the end of the quarter. All right, one other thing that I want to make incredibly clear is this academic integrity policy. The most common problem I come across with students is the plagiarism part. So plagiarism down here. Plagiarism is defined as several different things, but the most common way I see it misused is by copying and pasting websites or copying and pasting from a textbook. That is never okay for 2 reasons. 1, it's illegal. Stealing someone else's information and presenting it as your own is never okay. Even if you cite your source, copying it word for word is not okay. Copyright infringement. The second reason is, if you're copying and pasting, as an instructor, I have no idea if you understand the topic. And to put that into perspective, I'll give you an example. If I had a textbook on how to fly an airplane, and I copied that and I pasted it into a Word document and I handed it to you, you probably wouldn't trust me to fly your airplane, right? Because I just copied that. It doesn't mean that I internalized it, that I thought through the concepts, that I can explain it back to you. I just copied it. So in the same way, I'm asking you, when you are studying, you're creating your case studies, that everything be in your own words. So everything that you submit is your work and your work alone. In the rare case that you have to use a quotation or you do have to use word-for-word copying for some reason, there has to be quotations around it and it has to be cited. So please make sure you're paying attention to that. If there is any copy and pasting, it will be reported and you will have to deal with the consequences of that. So be aware, and that was kind of heavy, so let's go back to some more fun topics. All right, up here in your calendar on the right hand side, when you click on that calendar, you will see your due dates here. And right now you're seeing a different class, and I'll show you how to change that. So right now in my calendar I'm only looking at this class. I'm going to uncheck that because I want to look at our class, which is 279. Yep, wrong one. Here we go. 279. So you can isolate which class you want to look at if you're taking more than one class at a time. So here's our due dates. You'll notice that every Tuesday you have a discussion post due, except for this week. You get an extra day since we started on a Tuesday. Every Saturday there's a discussion reply due, and then everything else is due on a Sunday. You'll have a quiz each week, and like I mentioned earlier, you've got a written assignment, those case studies, due on even numbered weeks, so Module 2, Module 4, and if we keep going you'll see 6, 8, and 10. Alright, since we are talking about those discussions, let's take a look at the discussions. In Module 1, you have access to this already. One of the assignments is to complete this discussion. I've already posted here, and I want you to make sure that you take a look at this. Under these rules, it says, all of your original discussion posts should include a reliable and valid source or reference. And there's a very good reason for that. This is a science course. In science, we have to use facts. And facts are not things that we think of. Facts are things that we find from other reliable sources that have been proven over and over. So anytime that you're asked to research something or to give an opinion, please do so, but back up that opinion with an actual source or a real fact that supports why you feel the way you do. Alright, hopefully that makes sense. And then secondly, when you find that source, you must list it in APA format, which looks like this. It's just an example. If you use something that's other than a website, you can always go to this link. This is a fantastic link. And over here on the left side where it says references, you'll see a drop down. You can choose anything you want to use as a reference. So if you used a book, you can click on books, and then you'll have more options. If you have a book with one author, 2 authors, 3 to 5 authors, no author, a book with no author, that'd be very strange. But if that was the case, you would cite it just as the example is below here. So please make sure that you're doing that because it counts. And when I say it counts, I mean it counts for points. Alright, let's take a look at those points. Also in Module 1, in that discussion forum, just to get back to where we were here, you'll see a grading rubric. And this rubric applies to every single week. I haven't posted this in every week, but you'll get the idea. Every single week, you'll get 5 points for your original post, as long as the post is in on time, it's well informed, includes facts, and it takes a stance with research to back up your opinion. That's 5 points. Alright, then you'll get an additional 3 points for replying to a student. You only have to reply to one peer. If you'd like to reply to more, that's fantastic. Please do so. I think it's it shows engagement and it makes the discussions more fun when you get to see someone who actually read your post or replied to it. But that being said, the post must be substantial. So if you just write, "Great post, Charlie," you're not going to get any points for that. It has to be something that engages other students and provokes some thought. So maybe you'd ask a question of your peer, or you would add your own opinion, or say, "This is why I agree with you, this is why I don't agree with you." And lastly, those sources. 2 points. You have to include a source, at least one, and it must be in APA format. All right, that's going to apply for the next 11 weeks. So make sure you're really familiar with this and that it makes sense. All right, we've got a couple minutes here, so let me just give you a quick preview of your quiz this week. I want to give you a quick little preview here. It's 20 minutes. You get one shot. Same for every single week. Once you hit begin over here on the right-hand side, that begins your 20 minutes. There is no more, there's no redos, there's no reset. You have about 1 minute per question, so it goes pretty quickly. If you haven't studied ahead of time, this is going to be really difficult. If you're wondering what to study, I would mainly focus on the PowerPoints. The PowerPoints that are found in each module's folder are going to be your best friend. So if we take a look into the lesson content here, you will see, as we scroll down, there's quite a bit of content this week. It's loading here. So each one of these videos is a different set of PowerPoints. If you're not able to watch them, maybe you like to study at work or another place where you can't have audio, you can always click here, and when you open up that PowerPoint presentation, it'll open up a folder with each of the presentations in it. So we'll look at the PowerPoints here. If you open up that even more, give it a second for that to load, you have notes underneath each slide. There we go. If I just bring this up, I'll change this view for you. The notes that are underneath, this is exactly what's being spoken in the videos. So if you don't have that audio, for example, you can read through it here. It's really just kind of summing up what's already on the slide. But for something like this, you might be wondering, like, what do all these little things mean? Well, here you go. Here's the information on what those little things mean. All right, hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions about that or anything else as we get going here in the first week of the quarter, please let me know. I'm here to help, and I want to make this as successful as possible for you. So let me know if you need anything, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.